Well, hello and welcome, everybody. It's Ukraine Update here on the Shills, and holy shit, I think we might have actually pulled this off and got it to the point where this computer works. Now, last night we were doing a stream, 35 minutes in, the whole thing just went boom and shut off. There's some real hardware issues going on in my world. It's not just software, but I'm going to hit the button for the stinger. We're going to bring in Starsky for the news and pray to the lords of tech that this fucker holds together.
Hi everyone, operator Starsky is that? Oh my god. Operator Starsky here with the weekly update from Ukraine. This week there were several strikes in Kryvyi Rih, is a city in the Dnipro Oblast. Actually, I was born in Kryvyi Rih, as well as our president, by the way. But everybody thinks I was born in Honchurivsky because of the documents and yada yada. It's a long story. So this city was hit with Russian cruise missiles several times during several days. Literally, why the Russians keep striking this city, even though there's nothing special there. It's just a mining city. There's several mining areas, quarries and quarries. Anyways, and Russians repeatedly hit it with missiles. The answer to this is that they were training. Sometimes when they perform the massive missile strike, they launch around 30 missiles, 20-30 missiles. Those bombers that carry those missiles, they usually carry 2-4 missiles at once. And when they have training flights, they carry 1 missile per bomber, and they just shoot them wherever they see, at whatever target is programmed, and that's exactly the case. So basically, they pick civilian targets to train striking them with the cruise missiles. Also, there was a strike reported in Odessa. Again, unfortunately, there were casualties. 3 missiles were shot down over the Black Sea. and one missile hit a big storage facility. Uh, a mall was damaged, a residential complex, as well as the McDonald's that was recently opened in this area. Uh, so, several days ago, was it yesterday? Basically, it was yesterday. The African leaders of the African countries, arrived to Ukraine to discuss the Ukrainian capitulation, because according to the uh, spokesman for the president, Mikhail Podolyak, uh, those so-called
Joe.
peaceful plans are rather considered to be capitulation plans, because uh, President Zelensky already proposed the peaceful plan. According to this plan, Russia remains Russia, Ukraine remains Ukraine, Russia removes all their troops, uh, the combat stops in Ukraine, and everything's fine. You know, all other plans are just plans for Ukrainian capitulation, and of course, they are not acceptable. And while visiting Ukraine, while calling to capitulate, to give up our territories, to sacrifice the territorial integrity of Ukraine, and still have this threat of future attacks from Russian territory, those African leaders had to search for the shelter, because Kyiv was hit by the Russian uh, fleet that launched 6 cruise missiles, as well as Russian bombers that launched 6 hypersonic, uh, invisible, flying faster than the speed of light Kinjals.
Yeah.
And those were intercepted by the Patriot system. Russians denied that this strike even happened, again because there were those leaders of the African countries, um, and they tried to they pretended they didn't shoot any missile, um, at the same time, today, Konashenkov, that spokesman for the Russian Ministry of Rape, uh, confirmed that yesterday they conducted a missile strike at Kyiv, and of course, all the targets were successfully destroyed. And also, yesterday there was the least visited international economic forum in the world. It was an economic forum that took place in St. Petersburg, Russia, and Putin at this forum, either Putin or his double, uh, he said that 5 Patriot systems were destroyed around Kyiv.
Mm.
Uh, 5 Patriot systems, not like system. Five Patriot complexes. It means like the radar, the control station, all the batteries and stuff like that. Personally, I didn't know that we had 5.
I
Uh, I barely knew that we had like 2. But
Yeah. Well,
uh,
let's test something here. Let's test something. Let's bring out the monitor, the honesty monitor on that one. Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh.
yeah, so we were impressed. We were impressed, and also Putin said that, like, I don't even think that it's worth mentioning what he said, because whatever he says is a complete nightmare and bullshit. Um, so I'm done.
Yeah. Um. There's I wanted to go with has there been the report. Oh yeah, that's it. The report I wanted to bring up was there was a report of emergency services, Ukraine emergency services, uh, being fired upon while trying to rescue people from flooding areas.
Yes, it was reported, I believe, as soon as the dam collapsed due to the Russian bombs that were planted inside. And after several days of this evacuation process, there were cases reported of Russians shelling the evacuation teams. There were more than 20 cases of shelling reported.
That's disgusting. You know, that has nothing to do with what war is supposed to be. Even way back in old times, your average person was better. Um, I'm just gonna catch up on a couple of shout outs and stuff, and then we'll get into things here. So we had one from N Hill in the live chat there, sent $50 donation in for the Boom Boom Fund. Glory to the heroes. Well, thank you very much indeed. And glory to the heroes is agreed. We had Commander 401, the Shill Zone, had dropped $100 through the donation thing towards my whole issues with computers and whatnot, and how badly I need to get some stuff, replaced or whatever. So big thanks there. Cats with the question marks had become a Shills member, so thank you there. Susan Niffen threw a member message into the chat. Big heart to the Shills family. So big love back to you. Thank you again. Fuck Putin has subscribed. What a great username. Love it. Susan Niffen threw a $10 super chat in, and it's one of the super stickers that has like a little person that's all being lovey-dovey and stuff. So that's really cool. Thank you. Thank you. And then we had, if I can get to it here, Royal Castriata donated $20 through the super chat. Hey, Starsky, have you heard about Wagner terrorists being arrested by Kosovo police? They were helping Serbs plan an attack on NATO troops in northern Kosovo.
I'm not surprised, actually. I think that soon we will see more of such cases. For example, yesterday, the Polish border guards reported that they were shot at, basically from the Belarusian territory. And it was first documented attack of this kind, and I believe that we will see a lot of things like that, the one that happened in Kosovo. We also know that in Moldova, for example, Russian terrorists also attempted a coup last year. We had evidence of that. So unfortunately, the Russians uh, feel that they can go unpunished, and we should make sure that they will change their mind.
Yeah. The the I don't know if it's just me, Starsky, but do you notice a somewhat hesitance in the mainstream media to point the finger now and then when it could be pointed, because there's enough evidence to support it, but they really really are like iffy until there's some big official announcement or something. Like I noticed with responsibility for the dam, most news even today still says, well, Ukraine and Russia still blame each other for it, but most in the know Russia did this.
Yeah, it's true. So there was an investigation, a research basically published, I believe, in the New York Times. The engineers confirmed that only an explosives planted inside of the dam could lead to such a result. There's absolutely no way you could destroy the dam using several HIMARS missiles or Storm Shadow missiles. The dam that we have here in Kyiv, for example, can withstand the impact of 40 shadow storm missiles, storm shadow missiles.
Mm.
And in order to destroy it, you can literally throw a nuclear bomb on top of this dam.
Yeah.
So there's no way you could destroy it using just several strikes, unless you had some people with explosives that knew where to place them, and that could go inside those facilities inside of the dam and place those explosives.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are people that seriously know their stuff. And plus they're getting good enough, like they're getting good views of what's going on. So you can, if you know what you're talking about, I think the forensic evidence is there for all to see, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that brings hope, actually, is that the International Criminal Court representatives arrived to Ukraine to investigate the demolition of this dam. And I'm sure that because we have numerous radio interceptions and phone interceptions, we will be able to confirm that Russians did it. I think it will be even easier than the MH17 case, because with MH17 we faced a lot of classified data, but the investigators even managed to learn probably like the names of the crew of the anti-air system that was brought from Russia back then in 2014. So I think with all the amount of evidence that we have here, it will be even easier to prove that Russians did that.
Mhm. Yeah. There was oh, well, I one thing to let everybody know, we are doing a bit of a shorter show today. There's time constraints and whatnot. So I think what we should do is I'll get a member shout out here. Silver Earth, member of the Shills channel here. Did Belarus fire shots into Poland? I love Fluffy.
Thank you. So, yeah, something like that. It was reported that the car was hit with some object that had some tremendous velocity, like a bullet, and it was officially reported.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I heard it too. I'm going to turn it to Dave now, and we can get some member or viewer questions in, because we can't have the longest show today. We'll be live for about an hour tops. So, we
Did
shouldn't.
we do this? Did we do this super chat by Royal Castriota?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. I'll shut up.
yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, I did.
Carry
I got caught up, and now I'll put them in the room and everything, so we actually have our system going again. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, good. Yeah, just have me while I'm still on screen and I'm working. There's a new setup this week, and it's just gone to shit. So,
Oh no.
White Lightning 777. Hi to you. Can Starsky confirm that Ukraine will get the Australian F-18s and 80 ACMS?
Regarding the Australian FA-18s, is my bro actually told me this information because he lives in Australia, and he said that before even the government of Australia started discussing this, not even like that. Let me rephrase it. So the government of Australia learned that they will be given FA-18s to Ukraine from the news, actually. So first there were reports that yes, Australia will transfer their airplanes to Ukraine, and then the government was like, "Oh, really? Okay, why not?"
It's an interesting one. It's interesting. I was reading something the other day about how these things can like self verify? Like somebody can just make something up, and then some reputable news source reports it, and then that gets linked as a source for the bullshit that was made up in the first place. Anyway, yeah. We'll take that one with a pinch of
Dave,
salt.
for example, the same shit happened literally yesterday, I believe. So the Russians and a lot of the Russian sources, a lot of Russian propagandists started sharing an update from a German newspaper called Stern or Stern. And in this report, it was reported that General Budanov, chief of the military intelligence of Ukraine, was heavily wounded, and currently he carries out treatment in Germany or whatever, somewhere abroad. And all the Russian propagandists, all Russian media were referring to this Stern newspaper. And there was literally no such publication at all in the actual Stern newspaper.
wow.
And they also published an article that basically the Russians created a fake news referring to them.
Wow.
God damn.
Deep.
I mean, isn't that fascinating? It's I'll move on to another question anyway, as long as we've got some time. There is one here from Kevin Sperry, new member. Thank you, Kevin. Mr. Starsky, why isn't Ukraine bombing the Black Sea? Have they the capability?
So currently, the Black Sea, the coastline, and some territory behind the. My God, my English sucks today so much. I'm very, very sorry. We have several missiles that can be used to strike Russian Black Sea fleet. But the Black Sea fleet stays out of range of those missiles for obvious reasons, because the latest ship that was hit by those missiles was the legendary almighty Russian flagship Moskva. And they know that we have missiles that can strike them at the range, for example, 200 kilometers. That's why they keep their ships south of Crimea or in the area of Azov Sea, south of Azov Sea, in that area. So if we have such capabilities, we will of course strike those ships. But ships have a very, very good anti-air defense. Usually, Russian ships have a lot of, let's say, strong anti-air defense, different missiles, also those analogs of Vulcan Phalanx, I believe this cannon is called. So they have those installed, and ships are very good at anti-air, at defending themselves from air threats.
You guys just recently put the run on some a couple of Putin's ships, though, at the one port with a missile strike, didn't you?
Yeah, so they were in. It was in Berdyansk, and by the way, Berdyansk was hit today again. So they were loading the Ukrainian grain, basically stealing the Ukrainian grain and loading them to the Russian ships. Right. And this port was hit by storm, I believe, by storm shadows, and they had to withdraw from the docks.
Yeah, which was a happy article to read.
Yeah,
get rid of you.
Regarding the Moskva flagship, actually, there was a leaked document on all the issues with this ship. So basically, when this cruiser was hit with 2 Neptune missiles produced by the Ukrainian company, so their radar didn't work. A lot of their systems didn't function, and there's like very, very detailed report on all those issues that they've had. But they were so much, self-confident and convinced that Ukraine literally cannot reach them.
Yeah. We've got a few shout outs building. We'll give Dave a couple of more questions, and then we'll let Dunk catch us up on the super chat action.
Sure. There was one particular question here from Raven. What do you think of Denis Davidov's recent videos about the Russian ambush and destruction of the Ukrainian convoy with Leopard tanks? Most say he was too critical.
Well, from what we know, several vehicles blew up because of mines. We know that Russians are using some of their very new mining vehicles. They use remote mining, of course. And we don't know much about those vehicles. We know how they look, but we don't know much about them. And recently they started using those vehicles. They are called, just a second, I have it right here. No, it's no. Because it's an interesting crap.
Yeah, it's worth it for sure.
I had it actually. Wait.
I hope you're not fact checking on our channel. How dare you?
Oh, I hear somebody being called a troll in the chat. So here we go. Russell gets the snail tank.
I know how it looks like, but I don't really remember how it's called. I'm sorry. So they used those, and because those are able to mine the territory, to plant those mines remotely, it's very, very hard to predict where exactly the territory is mined. That's why such things can happen, of course. And I know many cases that happened during this war, and even before the full-scale invasion, involving mines. A lot of my friends, unfortunately, were injured because of that crap. That shit is nasty, guys. So there was also some video of like Ka-52 presumably shooting the same column, which could happen. But at the same time, we know the crews from the crews that the crew and personnel that were in those Bradleys, they managed to get away. They were evacuated. 1 or 2 Leopard tanks were destroyed. Later, Russians made it like 10 Leopard tanks using the neural networks, and guys, we will see that because we have quite a few of those Leopard tanks. Currently we have a lot of NATO produced vehicles and tanks, and because this is war, and those tanks are not invincible, they are not they don't have any magical abilities, they can also be destroyed, and Russians have things, have weapons capable of destroying those tanks. We will see, unfortunately, such pictures in the future because, again, it's an active phase of combat, the counteroffensive. We will have casualties. I mean, we will have more casualties than during all this time while we were just defending ourselves and inflicting as many casualties
Right.
to Russians as possible.
Yeah, the orc press officers are very much akin to Jesus because they can take one broken tank and turn it into many.
Yeah, and the level of celebration in the Russian media and in the Russian social media, you cannot imagine it seriously, because the Russians were um, uh, like recently, several days ago, I received a commentary like, so this time your counteroffensive will fail because we saw like NATO tanks burning, and in their fantasy world in Narnia, they saw like 100 Leopard tanks, even though there was like one or two Leopard tanks destroyed. And they literally don't care that they in 479 days they've lost almost 4,000 tanks. They don't care that they've lost the flagship. They don't care that they've lost the only major city they controlled. They don't care that like 220,000 men, like who cares about them even? But one Leopard tank that was turned into 100 Leopard tanks using the power of the Russian imagination is completely hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's farcical. They're the fantasy levels run deep. We've got some good shout outs to do here. Let's let Duncan and regale us with tales from the
no.
viewers.
Give me a bit of responsibility. Before we move on, though, there was that great piece of news last week where the Russians had destroyed someone's decoy mock-up of a leopard tank, which I thought
Yeah.
was funny. All right, okay. So, wow, how far back do we have to go? Oh, I think I've just gone back to last week. Hang on, never mind. Right, yes, here we are. Christian Cinnamon has sent you 30 Canadian dollars. A note from Kirsten Cinnamon. For Starsky's fund or the Boom Boom, your call. We had Yvette Way as a member for 2 months, sent in 5 CHFs. Whatever a CHF is, she sent 5 of them. So thank you very much, Yvonne, whatever that is. I don't know. It must be some kind of crypto stuff. Right. Greg Watkins has sent you $12.65 Canadian for the Boom Boom. Hi, Starsky. I think you spelt that wrong. Sorry, Starsky. Okay, we'll go with that one. Secular Sakai as a member for 1 month, sent in $19.99. I imagine many are not, but do you know of any brigade accepting fighters with health manageable health conditions?
So
I have heard some amputees bravely returning to combat too. Ah, I see. Yes.
yes, there are cases when amputees are returning to their infantry units, for example, but they have some specific prosthetics that allow them to carry out all their duties. So it highly depends on your capabilities. Um, for example, my friend Ilya, that was wounded last month, he jumped on a landmine. Basically, they were taking the Russian trenches, and he jumped into a like a foxhole, a trench for a single man, and it was mined, and he lost half of his foot, but he was told that he will receive a special prosthetic that will help him to return to service, and he will be able to fight again. But
Wow.
again, we have this military holy shit, military oh Jesus, military health committee something like that. Don't know how you call it. And they tell you literally if you're able to carry out your duties or not, depending on your health condition.
Oh,
I mean, there must
okay.
be all sorts of duties they can do anyway, even if they, aren't capable to actually fight on the front lines. There's still so much to do in support or in training or anything like that. Well, they could teach you now how not to step on a landmine. That might be
Yeah.
a good idea.
Well, you would think in like the engineering corps and whatnot, there would be positions where somebody who's not truly 100% can really still contribute with, mind and all and whatnot, right?
Engineers, medics, instructors. If you have experience, you can be instructor, like PT instructor or firearms instructor, whatever. We have a lot of guys that have health conditions that don't let them fight. For example, my friend Vova, who received a bullet to his head and spent almost a month like a vegetable, but he returned back. I told you about him, and he's currently an instructor in my brigade officially. He's not a, let's say, not a soldier anymore, an employed military person, okay, but he's now considered a civilian employed for a position in a military brigade.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did try to sign up as a volunteer, but I got kicked out because they discovered I don't have a spine, which wasn't a very good start. We haven't more super chats to go through. So, Commander 401, I'll try and get through them really quickly. The orcs have no chance. That's why the orc commanders need to threaten to shove metal objects into the backsides of the orcs to make them fight. Yeah, I think grenades would be a good thing to insert into their backsides.
Yeah.
Tyler Dowdy, member for 1 month, for $9.99 says, "Hey Starsky, not war related, but would you recommend any good books on Ukrainian history and culture for the Boom Boom Fund?"
There is a project called Ukrainer. And Ukrainer is a project that is specifically created to tell the world about Ukraine. My good friend Bogdan, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ is not his last name. Bogdan Logvinenko. Bogdan Logvinenko. He's the chief of this project, and they make like books about Ukraine in English. They make videos. They have a YouTube channel, I believe. There's even my cringy interview on Hostomel and stuff. And you can Google Ukrainer and just a second, Ukrainer. Yeah, actually, you will find their website and everything you need to know.
There we go. David L. For $2.20. Hey Starsky, how's your kitty cat? Meow.
So the kitty cat is growing like I don't know. I'm not sure kittens even supposed to grow so fast. But it's been like 2-3 weeks or something. So
Saw that sushi.
could be, I don't know, but I brought her to the vet that very day, and he told me that she's still a milk kitten. That's why she needs milk, but she refuses consuming milk, and the only thing she likes
Wow.
is like I'm buying her like this meat with gravy in a pack, and I add water, so it turns into like a soup because she's not really drinking water. She has like a bowl of water next to her house because I bought her a house, I bought her everything, you know.
A Mercedes.
She has a house and an outhouse. She has like this closed toilet, which is even bigger than her house.
Don't let the Russians know, they'll steal it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fudge is guarding it, anyways, and it's mine. So, she doesn't drink water much. That's why I add plenty of water into this meat stuff that she has, and it has this consistency of like a soup, you know. And she freaking loves it. I'm buying Fluffy all kinds of, you know, those packs, those meat packs, kitten snacks, and because I don't want her to, you know, get accustomed to a single kind of them. That's why I'm buying different brands. Like literally, I have like 5 different brands right now. And she grows like crazy. She has like she's big. Okay, I'll show you pictures later.
Yeah.
Meow. Okay, Yvonne Way is back again with another CHF. Five of CHFs. She says it's Swiss money for the boom boom
Yeah.
fund.
Swiss francs.
You didn't need to do it through a super chat to tell us it's Swiss francs. Yeah, as long as it's not Nazi gold, we'll be all right. Crazy Cat has sent you $27.60 Canadians. For the Boom Boom Fund, I was going to donate some channel memberships, but there's just too many poodler ass looking grub muffins in the chat. Grub muffin all the trolls, please. Glory to Ukraine, and a double Ukrainian flag.
And by the way, speaking of Fluffy, she's not getting like fat, you know, like fat. Because she spends a lot of time running around like crazy. She learned how to climb like all the walls and stuff, and there are still places where she cannot reach me. It's where I'm hiding from her when I need to do some work or something like that. But other than that, she's running around. She recognizes me as her bald mother, and she sleeps with like on me. Okay, every single time. She screams at me when she wants to eat, even though her bowl is full. That's why I have to grab her and bring her to her house where she has her food stored, and she will be like, "Oh, it's full. Okay, I'm sorry, mate," and she starts eating. Yeah, my bad, you know. Uh, and she likes to play so much. She likes to cuddle when she's full and sleepy. Okay, but when she doesn't want to sleep, she likes to play. She likes to bite me. She scratched like all my body, like my legs, arms, everything. And of course I'm trying to make sure that she's not getting used to biting fingers, because it's bad.
Mm.
Because it's a big mistake when people play with their kittens and it's so cute, you know, they bite their fingers with those tiny teeth, and they grow up and they turn into those perfect killing machines, basically like sharks, only fluffy, and with freaking claws that can kill living beings. And they continue biting their freaking fingers and limbs because this is what they taught them. So I bought a like a fishing rod, only with the mouse, you know, on a rope, like a stick, a rope, and the mouse, and it takes me zero effort to just, you know, lie down and lazily, you know, play with her.
Yeah.
And she will be like flying around like crazy, catching this mouse and killing this mouse, and then, you know, jumping out and
So-
jumping in. Yeah.
Laser pointer.
Starsky-
That's all I'm going to say. Laser pointer. You've got to get one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Starsky, I can't help but think that your training is pretty much complete. So yeah.
It's true because I had to learn a lot these days about little kittens. Even though I had those when I was a kid, I always had cats in my family when I was a teenager or a kid or whatever. But all the cats are different, first of all, and also I didn't really consider them like my pets. Okay, I liked dogs, and and that's why I feel very, very sorry for Fudge, because Fudge was always, the star of this
Right.
house. Yeah, and now there's like a little baby, and I cannot blame him because she's a baby. She's like a kid. When she starts screaming at me when she's hungry, she sounds like a toddler, and I instantly have my parental instincts activated every single time. So yeah.
Yeah. That's
Now,
exactly it. It's funny.
Here's a top tip for you, Starsky. When I know a thing about cats. When she gets about to the right size, what you can do is cable tie her ankles together, and she'll make a great hat for the winter.
Paul in the live chat made a good comment earlier. I can't remember what it was now, but I know this is the right sound effect for it. So this is for you, Paul.
Pity the fool.
It was really funny.
I've got a couple
okay.
couple of things left. You want me to get through them quickly?
Please.
Okay, so we got Greg Watkins has sent you $12.65 Canadian dollars. Storm Songs $9.99. Boom boom. Tim Satori. Ooh, very Italian. Tim is not a very Italian name, but Satori is very Italian. Right, sent in $5 for Operator Starsky, Slava Ukraine. And we have some gifted memberships, it seems. Aussie T has gifted 5 Shill Master memberships to Anthony Romano, Johan Van Zanten, Rodent of Anger, what a great name, Storm Songs, and George Hands. Welcome to the club.
Cool.
Michelle Ferguson, member for 2 months, sent in $9.99. How is Fooch? We'll come back to that. And Aussie T member sent in 20 Australian dollars. Boom, boom. And Jonesy member for 2 months. Member for 2 months, member for 4 months. Show Master. Tonight, the dance schools of Western Australia. Dance for Ukraine. Proceeds are going to UNICEF for children in Ukraine. My daughter dances. Oh, fantastic! Look at
Cool.
Yes. So how is Fooch? Well, we know. Fooch is a bit jealous because there's a little kitty running around.
Yeah, he is. He's not dangerous for Fluffy because he lived together with cats all his life. But sometimes, she makes him angry when she jumps at him or something like that. I didn't see them fighting much, but sometimes, sometimes he growls, she hisses at him, and that's all. That's all basically. Sometimes they sleep together. I have like a picture, and she lived in my apartment for 3 days, and they started sleeping together on the same mat.
That's cute. That's cute. How are we there, DK or Dunk? Are we all caught up?
I'm all caught up.
Okay.
Dave seems to have buggered off. Oh, there he's back.
He's back. Perfect timing.
Hello.
Oh, look, he completely restructured his room and everything. He must be like Barry Allen, the fastest man alive.
Yeah, I don't know if he's all flustered or whether he's got any questions all lined up. What you got, Dave?
Looks like
I
think he had a shower.
Oh yeah, by the way.
No, it still smells bad. I can tell.
So I wanted to learn why cats like to drop things from like a table, or when they see
Ah.
some. Because I had a cat once. He was like big stray cat that we picked at a train or something like that, and uh, every single morning, 5 a.m., he would start bashing in the door. I don't know how he did that, but it sounded like as if a drunk husband returned from a party early in the morning, and he'd be like, "Wife, open up!" Boom, boom, and he liked like dropping things from a table. He would just sit there and like, oh, like there's a teacup, boom. Oh, there's keys, boom. And I wanted to learn, like, why do cats do that? There must be some kind of scientific explanation to this. And guys, I found a scientific explanation to this. The cats like to drop things from tables because they are assholes. That's literal
Yeah.
scientific explanation. Like
No,
literally,
it's
just
not at
that.
all. It's not at all. They're constantly measuring the gravitational forces in the Earth and calculating large G for us. It's simply what they're doing.
Also assholes.
They're
that
flat
too.
earth debunkers, but they're jerks too.
Yeah, a bit like scientists. They're all assholes too.
Okay, now since Dave's back, and you never know, he might decide to run off again and come back to the stream in a cafe down the road or something. He keeps changing it up. Why don't we get a few viewer questions in? And we're coming up close
That's
to
a
our hour
great
time limit
idea.
anyway. What did you do? Oh, he's gone. Okay, no, there he is.
No, I'm back. It's okay. I just wanted to recheck. There's a fucking groove in the floor, and I can't move my seat now. This is awful. Anyway, I should stop complaining. It's just ruining your life. There was a question. It was very interesting from Shayna. Hello. It's been a member for 2 months. Do you know anything about Hungary getting Ukrainian prisoners of war, or is this false? America hearts Ukraine.
There is confirmed information that Ukrainian POWs in the Russian prisons are starving, and
Fuckers.
there's also confirmed information that not a single representative of the International Red Cross would ever visit Ukrainian prisoners of war in the Russian prisons in 479 days.
Holy fuck.
Like every POW that I know, that I spoke to, including Bogdan, they all told me that the International Red Cross simply doesn't visit Russian prisons at all, never. So there is a big problem with that. Unlike that, unlike them, the Russian POWs in the Ukrainian prisons gain weight, because Bogdan told me that when they were exchanged and our group, Ukrainian POWs were moving towards Ukrainian representatives, and the Russians were walking towards them. And when they saw those Russian POWs that were kept in Ukrainian prison, they were shocked because they were fucking fat, and Ukrainian POWs could barely walk. So that's one issue, because the International Red Cross, I would not call them biased. I would rather call them fucking assholes. That's my personal opinion.
That's a lot of spineless action going on there by the sounds of it. I mean, come on. That's
The
man.
the Ukrainian Red Cross, cannot really talk on their behalf, but for example, when the International Red Cross didn't react in any way to what happened in Kakhovka, the Ukrainian Red Cross, all those guys, all the volunteers, they arrived to the ground and they started working there, helping people. And they said, this is our position, that we will be helping our guys, like no matter what happens, because we are the Red Cross. As for the International Red Cross, fuck them.
Yeah, there's quite
that's really disheartening to hear that, though.
totally.
Well, because you think the Red Cross is like, well, you think the Red Cross is just like this fantastic organisation that just gets in to help out anybody and everybody wherever they can. But, to hear there's something going on, whether it's bias or just ineptitude, it's just really disheartening.
Absolutely. There were documented cases when the Red Cross would transfer Ukrainian kids from the Ukrainian territory to Russia, basically helping Russians to deport Ukrainian children from Ukraine to Russia. Recently, there was an update. Not sure if it was confirmed, but there was an update that Red Cross wanted to help civilians in Russian Shebekino. It's where this combat still happens, by the way, between the Russian freedom fighters and the Russians. They wanted to help civilians in Shebekino who lost their property to get like cash from their government. So basically, they were trying to help those victims. But as for the victims of the flooding in Kherson, for example, like they gave zero fucks until today, and including this.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's been ample opportunity. I mean, it's not like it happened yesterday, right? Come on. I just find that sad because, historically up until about now, when you hear Red Cross, you just instantly assume of international aid and assistance to people and so on. And that's kind of sad. Kind of sad indeed. We're getting close on time here. We're coming up close to the hour. So let's just bring a couple of viewer questions in and then we'll catch up on like donations and super chats and stuff.
Hell yeah, if I can find the page. There we go. There was one from Biker Dad. Starsky, what do you think about reports that Ukraine is developing its own missile that has a range of 1,000 kilometers?
There was a report last year, I believe around October or November. It was reported that we started producing our drone. It's not a missile, it's rather a drone that can fly 1,000 kilometers, and it's able to carry something like 40 kilograms of explosives. I might be wrong though, but it's some impressive amount of explosives. And it was some kind of super secret stuff that we don't know much about. Maybe we will learn more in the future. But again, there's cases when, for example, oil producing factories in Krasnodar go off, and Krasnodar is it's located quite far from the front lines, from Ukrainian positions, like 300 kilometers, maybe more. So there is some possibility to strike such distant locations.
That seems to be very distant locations, though. As in Russia. Shh,
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah, because Krasnodar, it's a Russian oblast, east of the Azov Sea, southeast.
Okay. There's an alert in the background. What happened? Oh, we've got a super chat in. We've got a couple in. I wonder if DK wants to take care of those for us.
I'll take care of them. I'll just chuck him in the bin, shall I? Or I'll spend the money myself. No, we don't.
Yeah.
All right, we have Killer Rabbit of Kerbanon. Killer Rabbit of Kerbanog. Is that right? Come on. I can't remember.
Yeah, you got to do the end. That, at the end, right? It's all Monty Python, yeah.
Yeah, but with an American flag at the end of it, so I'm confused. But there's $10. Starsky, upon researching, I've found there are many styles of Ukrainian borscht throughout Ukraine. I was warned that questioning Ukrainians about borscht ingredients can lead to explosive discussions, especially after eating it.
Yes, because there are different sorts of borscht. Sometimes, yesterday I learned that there's even borscht with like vinegar, which I
Pickled borscht?
Borscht with vinegar.
Huh.
There's a lot of kinds of borscht. There's borscht with beans. Of course, there must be potato in the borscht. Otherwise, it's not a borscht. It's something that Russians call shi. Without T, it's shi. But yeah, basically the same shit.
Yeah.
And green borscht, by the way, we were talking about it. It's made of different ingredients. I believe only like cabbage stays the same, but everything else, there's like boiled eggs and different other stuff. So there's a lot of kinds of borscht, actually. It's similar, but it's very different in different locations.
Oh, we'll have to do a borscht night one, I guess, sometime.
Yeah.
Tastings.
Yeah. Dunk, Lucas Rem in the chat says you got to do the next shout out in Yoda's voice.
What, from level 70?
Yeah.
Okay. Level 70, we have a super chat for $6.90. No, hang on. For 99 cents, $6, because he would do it. Hi, Starsky. Heard there was a question. Special Forces, no, don't ask me to do this. Special Forces operation, I heard there was taking a place across. No, I'm going to read it properly, otherwise Starsky's not going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Hi, Starsky. I heard there was a Special Forces operation taking place across the Dnieper River at Novakova. Is this thing ongoing? Well, you really can't ask Starsky questions like that. That's tactical operations questions, but we'll see what he can answer.
Yeah.
Starsky cannot answer this question, but
what about Fudge?
I saw several reports, several videos as well, because we're all observing the situation, of course. One thing I can tell you for sure is that in the area of Nova Kakhovka, there was a case, and recently it was published, by the way. There was a case where the Ukrainian special forces found several Russian terrorists that were abandoned by their troops. They stuck at their position that was cut off from the rest of the troops with the flood. And there were like 5 Russians. Our special forces on Zodiac boats arrived to their position. They saved them basically and brought them to the safe ground. Such cases always also happen from time to time.
Oh.
Okay, so we got one more note in. Who was it? Who was it that asked for me to read that out as Yoda?
Fuck! I didn't make a note. It happened so quick. I can't remember now.
Lucas
Rem.
okay, yeah. Block him. Right. Okay. Lisa signed and won has sent $20 in for the boom boom, and that's all
Yay!
caught up.
All right. All right. So it looks to me like literally we got about 5 minutes. Let's I don't know if Dave's really there or if that's just an AI representation of a guy that looks like Dave. But let's pick 2 more questions up and then we'll bid everybody a farewell and whatnot here.
He's got the comfiest looking toilet seat I've ever seen.
0 Russians have tried to steal it. This is a really interesting one, actually, from Susie Q. If your soldiers are wearing efficient ear protection, how do they hear when being shot at or where from?
They're wearing active headphones. Active headphones are amazing. So there's 2 microphones. When there's an explosion nearby or something like that, the sound gets cancelled completely. But when it's quiet, you can hear far away. In 2015, I had a pair of nice headphones in the area of Marienka. And I could literally hear like Buryat soldiers farting like across the field.
That's probably the vinegar borscht. That's what, the fart, right?
That's shit. That's shit, definitely.
And what do you think, Dave? Let's get one more in, and then we'll hit some buttons here because we don't want to keep Starsky too long. He does have busy times.
Absolutely. Let's get the most important question in from Raven. What do you think about Prigozhin's hypothesis that Putin would be willing to nuke Belgorod to stop the anti-Kremlin uprising? Nice happy way to end.
It's possible, in a different time, I would argue that Putin would probably never nuke his own territory. At the same time, we know exactly that Putin likes to kill his own people. He doesn't care about them at all. So
we know that he's completely fucking mental.
because also because Putin is a fucking insane and maniac. I believe that this is possible. Will he use like nukes? Could be. I think that he would rather use I don't know. On the other hand, though, he was warned by the NATO representatives about not using nukes on the Ukrainian territory against Ukrainians. There was nothing about using nukes on his own territory.
Yeah.
Now I see.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. Finding a loophole the orc way, right?
Yeah, but again, what's the point of using nukes against those partisans? He could literally bring reserves, throw thousands and thousands of cops from like Vladivostok. I'm sure that he has some reserves in like Kremlin, Moscow, Podmoskovia, St. Petersburg. He can literally bring those. There's a lot of Amon, Sobr. Still, we know that a lot of those individuals were brought to Ukraine, but still there's a lot of them in Russia because he needs manpower to be able to control all his adversaries in the Russian Federation. So
yeah, man. Yeah, it's and yeah, the thing with nukes is nukes are for obliteration, not for invasion, because who the hell wants to go in after somebody's dropped a nuke?
Yeah, that's what I think. It's you will lose territory, basically. Your territory will be contaminated and abandoned for hundreds of years. So
Mhm.
there's no sense in using nukes on your own territory or the territory that you want to have, that you want to use.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we should we should wrap this up and let good captain get some rest in for busy days and busy times. Let's just go around the room and say a quick goodbye here. What do you think, Dunk? Little, words of wisdom for the viewers before we bugger on off.
Where's the wisdom from me? You be fucking lucky. But I'll just
Stranger
say
shit
good
has
night.
happened.
Well, that's true. I want to say good night to you. Good night, Starsky. Great to see you again. So I'll just say this one last thing. Kiss me good night, Sergeant Major. Tuck me in my little wooden bed.
Thank you so much, Master Yoda.
Slava Ukraine!
That was awesome. That wasn't even planned. That was amazing. Dave, what do you think, buddy?
I'm meant to follow that.
I know, right?
Yeah, I have literally. I could say anything. Octopus, Wednesday, monkey, the number, blurf. Like I can't. Like, what do I do here? I think we had a good one.
There.
Our tech held up. That's the best thing. That's the best thing we can hope for.
Yeah.
At any
yeah.
given moment.
It seems to be just hanging on by a thread as well. But yeah, we got through it. Remember, everybody, get on your government, local, regional, and national and whatnot, and make sure they're doing everything they can to support Ukraine in all ways possible, because every little bit helps. Give them a nudge. Hell, buy a stamp. Those things still exist. Email. I think that still works as well. Probably you could use ICQ if you could find a running server, but get a hold of them and let them know. And I myself, I think, it's important to spread the news, do the good deeds, and make sure that everybody's up on current real events and stomp the trolls in those live chats. Every one troll that comes around, if they're just little trolls, you can play with them. But if they're big trolls, stomp them out, because they can't have their voice be heard. And, yeah, I think that's about it from me. Let's turn it over to Operator Starsky here for the last words of the evening to take us out.
Bro, does ICQ even exist yet?
No, I don't think. I think it's gone. But at this point, they've probably, the code's been leaked somewhere, and you could probably run a server and bring it back if you wanted.
I wonder if IRC chats.
You can still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tie it in. Maybe you could. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm 15 years old again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hide the porn, Max.
Yeah. Porn. You couldn't hide porn because you had a dial-up connection. You couldn't even see it. You could just read about it.
Yeah.
You are 15. You open the porn site, and before the picture loads, you are 16. Okay. So, friends, thank you so much for staying with us tonight. As usual, you are my biggest motivation. And you always make me happy. Literally, nothing in this life makes me happier than a good food and good friends. So, see you later.
Good night,
Awesome.
Starsky.
Good night, everybody out there. Remember, 2 words that you got to remember are Slava Ukraini. See you soon.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, I was too quick for you today.
It's over. Go home. Go.